Welcome to another edition of Cycle Breakers Finish First program, where I aim to give you information that you can use to take your life to the next level. I tell you time and time again, I don't do this to waste your time. I do it as a service because I truly believe that if you live life, you gain wisdom, you have experiences, and if you can help somebody else, then that's your duty. That is your call to help somebody else. A lot of people think they're called to the ministry for a particular business or a particular industry. But the bottom line at the end of the day, whatever it is that you gain from the inside or on the inside, and if it's positive, we have to share it. So every week I come to you with these workshops and I try to make them short because I know your time is valuable and I just want to give you valuable information that you can use. Let's start. We always talk about what it takes to be a cycle breaker. And I've been working on this cycle breaker mantra for many years, and it's really simple. To be a cycle breaker requires 4 elements. 1, recognize the need to break a cycle in your life. I'm going to say this so many times that eventually you'll hear me saying it while you're sleeping. You can be a cycle breaker. You can change any situation in your life. You can rise to another level. It doesn't matter where you are. But first, you have to make that decision after recognizing your need to change. What is it in your personal life, your family, your community, or even the world that just bugs you to the point that you want to change it? And that's that spark that's required for you to be a cycle breaker. So the first step is to recognize the need for change. The second one is to commit to making the change. How many times do you say, you know what, they need to stop doing that? Or I need to stop doing that? But do you commit to actually making that change? I mean, how many times a day do you say, you know what, I know I need to get up early, or I know I need to be on time? Whatever it is, you can say it until your head explodes. But there's a next level to just saying it, and that's committing to making that change. So I submit to you that as cycle breakers, you have to commit to making the change. And then the third element is you have to be able to gain the tools necessary to make a change. Let me give you an example. I have people who I do programs with, I do programs for, and every now and then someone's late or they miss something or miss an assignment. And I understand that. Life happens. But let me tell you this. If you're serious about breaking a cycle, you'll have the tools lined up so that you don't make that mistake. You'll buy a master planner from me or something like that so that you can plan out your activities so that you don't mess up and miss greatness walking through your door, greatness in your morning. Because it's all about how you plan. So when we talk about getting tools, I'm saying just simply whatever it is, whatever cycle it is that you want to break, you have to gain the tools that will help you make it to that next level. The fourth element is you have to stick with it. Life will happen. I mean, look at what's been happening in our world. Everything from the craziness in Washington, D.C., all the way down to the craziness in your home. We know what's going on. You know what you're experiencing. You know your difficulties. Life is going to happen. Life will, in fact, beat you down. But the question is, when that happens, do you have enough energy stored up? Do you have enough grit, that ability to hold on, to stick in there so that you can achieve your goals? And I'm telling you, they don't have to be major goals. It could be simply getting off probation. Or maybe your goal is to never get stopped or have a bad interaction with a police officer anymore. It may seem simple, but it's your goal. And whatever your goal is, you have to be willing and able to stick with it when times get hard. So those are the 4 elements of being a cycle breaker. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. And now we're going to go a little bit deeper on how to go to the next level of making your life the best life that you can live. And today we're talking about seeking wisdom. Let's go. Seeking wisdom. That's such a loaded statement. And what I mean by loaded is I could probably give a 2 or 3 day workshop on how to seek wisdom. But keep in mind, I'm going to keep it condensed for us today. I'm not going to hold you that long. But I do want to tell you that wisdom is the only way that we will continue to grow. Now, a lot of us have this mentality that we're not going to live a long time, or you don't want to live a long time, or you know that you're living in a way that may shorten your lifespan. But I tell you that when that happens, you're going to miss out on a very important part of being successful. And that is the ability to gain wisdom. because it takes time to gain wisdom. But why is wisdom so important? It's because every day you and I are making decisions that will either cause us to fall into this trap of the legal matrix, or it will take us closer to achieving our goals. And the best way to get there is to employ proper thinking and proper wisdom. But what do I see as a problem to that? Nobody wants wisdom. We are a generation that knows it all. In fact, we're a generation of experts. So as soon as you get a little bit of information, all of a sudden you're an expert. All of a sudden you're on Instagram, promoting a program on how you can help me be the best that I can be when you just got out of your mess yesterday. And that's just an example of the fact that we all have this longing to be wise, but we don't take the time to get the wisdom because we're all about me. I know it all. I don't need that wisdom. But I'm telling you that in order to get to the level that you want to get to, you have to tap into a resource that's called wisdom. And the great part about it is that wisdom is all around you. That wisdom exists in the people that you run into who've been working on a job for 10 or 15 years. Yes, when you get that new job, you may be the new person on the block. You may be the new person that just graduated from college. But guess what? That same person that's been working there for 10 or 15 years, they can offer you something that maybe you didn't learn in college, or maybe you didn't get reading in the books. So wisdom is with you and around you all the time. That man on the bus that you laugh at because he doesn't dress well, or maybe he doesn't smell as good as you smell. But guess what? That man has lived some life. And if you sit down and have a moment to talk with him, you may be able to get some wisdom on not only what he's been through, but maybe how to avoid the situation that he's in. And for you young people, oh my gosh, if there are any older people around you that exhibit any kind of common sense, tap into that common sense, gain that wisdom. Quit talking all the time. Quit showing that you know it all the time, because you are going to miss out. All the wisdom that I have as a judge, it's taken me years and years and years to gain it. Remember, I've been a judge for over 9 years. I've been practicing law for 20 years. I've been doing this for a long time, and I've been a listener. And I've been a person that's jotted down notes when I've gotten great information from people, or I'll seek out people to find out, how do you do this? How do I do that better? And that's why I am where I am today, because I actually took the time to seek out the information from those who can give me information. I mean, I would intern for free just to be around people who were smart in any particular industry that I wanted to learn about. When I was trying to learn about stocks and bonds, I worked at a brokerage firm for free. When I wanted to learn how to be a great attorney, I volunteered for the East Cleveland Municipal Court as a public defender for free. Now, eventually they could pay me, which was great. But the bottom line is you have to seek wisdom with all your heart and all your soul so that you can get smarter in what you're doing. And I'm telling you, you don't have to want to be a judge or a mayor or anything like that, but just simply to live your best life, get some wisdom. So while you're sitting at home, freaking your Black and Mild and smoking it, and you see a person walking down the street with a breathing machine, talk to that person. Maybe you'll find out that they spent their life smoking, damaging their lungs, and now they're in that position. Again, you're seeking wisdom. So bottom line is, wisdom is what we're talking about. How to get it and what you should seek out. Let's go. All right, let's look at the formal definition of wisdom. Wisdom is the quality of having experience, knowledge, and good judgment. Again, experience, knowledge, and good judgment. Now, keep in mind, when I read that definition, I did not say experience or knowledge or good judgment, because all of those work together. If you have a lot of experience because you lived a life, maybe a hard life, maybe a good life, but you didn't gain any knowledge from it, you can't be of any service to someone else to tell them how to do it or how to avoid it. If you have a lot of knowledge because you read books all the time, but you've never walked out your door to actually experience the things that you're talking about, if you telling people how to invest in stocks because you read it all the time, but you never won a lot of money and lost a lot of money, you can't give me much wisdom. And then on that other part, good judgment. Why is that so important? Because let's say you've read all the books And let's say that you have experienced a lot. Let's talk about relationships. Girl, I'm imitating a woman. Girl, I can tell you the man to avoid and all this and that because I've experienced a lot and I've watched Oprah all the time. But that third element, do you have good judgment? Because if you have all of this knowledge and all of this experience, but you keep making the same mistakes, or you keep dating the same guy over and over again, or you fail to leave the relationships that you know are toxic, you don't have good judgment. So in order to be a person that can provide wisdom, what we're looking for is experience plus knowledge plus good judgment. Let's take a look at experience. Experience. Now, I don't have a formal definition of experience because I think we can all agree on what experience is. Experience is when you actually live a certain situation. You've actually gone out and you've done the thing, right? You've made the calls. You've shown up for work. You shoveled the snow. You've been in a situation where domestic violence was prevalent in your relationship or in your home. You've actually experienced it. So when we talk about experience, what we're talking about is when you've actually been in the trenches, so that the thing that you're talking about, you've actually had real life interaction with it. You've touched it, you've experienced it, you've been in that environment. So that's what experience is. Now, why is experience important at all? Well, in order to be a person of wisdom, you have to actually do the thing or have been through the thing. Now, obviously, when I say do the thing, I'm thinking in a positive way, right? I'm thinking if you want to get a good job, get a job, work the job so you can tell me how this job goes. Or if you want to tell me how to get a job and pass the interview, go on multiple interviews so that you get the experience. Rather than just saying that, hey, I can't get a job, they're not hiring. How about getting the experience of the interview? That's doing the thing. Now, experiencing the thing is something a little bit different because oftentimes it's not a good experience. So when you're telling me, or I'm sitting there asking you questions about my domestic violence situation, if you've never been through it, there's only so much you can tell me. So when you sit back and say, hey, dude, you need to leave that relationship because she's beating on you. You know, if you've never been through it and you don't know what the barriers are to me leaving, then there's only so much information that you can provide me. So experience is actually either doing the thing or having been through the thing. Now let's define knowledge. And I look to a dictionary for that too. Knowledge is defined as facts, information, and skills acquired through experience or education. Facts, information, and skills acquired through experience or education. That's knowledge. So now we see how these definitions are applying to each other and they're being added on top of each other. Because we already talked about knowledge, but to have experience and knowledge, they come together. In order to have knowledge, you have to have experience, right? So now you can't have one without the other. What's interesting about that definition is that it says facts, information, and skills. Again, this is not an either or. It's not saying, well, you get knowledge if you got a lot of facts. You have knowledge if you have a lot of information. It's not saying that you have knowledge if you have a lot of skills. You have to have facts, information, and skills. So that's important because, again, just like anything else, you know, if you're trying to give me wisdom, and we're talking about wisdom is beyond just information. Wisdom is the ability to guide someone else on a journey, to actually give them information, quality information. So you can have all the skills in the world. You can be able to dribble the ball and you have all the skills, but if you don't have the information on how to play the game and you don't have the facts on the rules of the game, then you're not going to be able to give me wisdom on how to be a great basketball player. So skills alone don't give you wisdom. Information alone won't give you wisdom. Because again, you can read as many books as you want, But if you are not applying it to the facts and then the skills that are necessary, you're not moving me or yourself to the next level. And then facts by themselves don't equal knowledge. Facts do not equal knowledge. You know, that's interesting because this day and age, we often use hashtags to express things, right? So I'll see hashtag facts. But facts don't mean knowledge if you're not going to use that information to apply the appropriate skills. So again, in order to have good knowledge, you have to have facts and information and skills. But then there's that next level to knowledge that's important. The next level says it has to be acquired through experience or education. So if you have facts, information, and skills, but you didn't get the education, where'd you get them? You know, that should be the question that you're asking people. You're telling me all these things, you're hashtagging facts, but where did you get that information? Oh, you got that information from the jailhouse lawyer. I'm gonna tell you, that may or may not be the best source of information. It could be, but it may not be. So again, you're giving me this information, you're telling me all these facts, these informations, these facts, all these different things I should do. Where'd you get it from? Oh, you got it from the dude that was sitting next to you at the bar, down in the Hennessy. Maybe it's a good source, maybe it's not. So this is where it gets important because social media, commercials, all this stuff, people are expressing all these opinions, all this knowledge, telling you that, hey, I got the key to this, the key to success. I can tell you how to win, how to move to the next level. But you have to wonder, where did you get that information from? And according to our definition, there are two sources. Either you got it through education, meaning you went to a school, you sat down, you put in the time, and you got that information. And that's rare these days because nobody wants to go to school. Nobody really values formal education. Well, not as much as we used to. I do, maybe you do, but there's some people who don't. But that's a source of knowledge, right? Because you have to complete tests, you have to do assignments. So I know now when you graduate with a good grade, you have some knowledge. That's one source. The other one is, again, going back to our good friend experience. Have you lived out this situation? Sometimes experience is better than formal education. Sometimes the information that you can get from being in something, going through it, can be more valuable than sitting in a class and getting an A+ on every assignment. But it's up for you to decide. Because what we're doing now is I'm just giving you the tools and techniques to be the best that you can be, the tools and techniques that you can use to seek wisdom. And what I'm saying is, when you're asking somebody if they have knowledge, look to the facts, the information, the skills acquired through experience or education. Breaking it down, I want to know what you know, what skills you have, and most importantly, where did you get that information? So remember, we're making it through our definition of wisdom, the quality of having experience, knowledge, and good judgment. So we're on our last part. Good judgment. And I didn't even look up a definition of good judgment because we know what good judgment is. I mean, 99% of us, we know what good judgment is. I mean, there are a couple of people who just, maybe for whatever reason, some trauma or something that happened, maybe they don't know good judgment, but you and I do. You know it's not good judgment to get in a car with somebody who has a gun. You know that. You know it's not good judgment to go into a store and steal some items. You know it's not good judgment when you're in a relationship, someone makes you mad, and you decide to take it to the next level of domestic violence. So when we're talking about seeking wisdom and we're talking about using good judgment, we know what good judgment is. But oftentimes we're lazy. So instead of seeking good judgment, we take the easy way out. The easy way is to just react. I'm mad, so I'm going to react. The easy way is I need food, so I'm just going to go and steal it. I'm not going to see what resources exist out there so I don't end up in this legal matrix. The easy way out is to say, you know what? I don't feel like getting up, so I'm going to skip that class. I'm going to skip work, or I'm going to be late to work, or I'm going to skip probation. I got to go meet with my probation officer, but I don't feel like it. That's the easy way out. But oftentimes the easy way is just not good judgment. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you, I've made those mistakes too. One thing I always say, and if I haven't said it, I'm going to say it again. I am nowhere near perfect. I have made so many mistakes in my life. I've had so many miscalculations of judgment where I've done the wrong thing and I knew I was going down the wrong path, but I didn't stop. But that is why I bring these programs to you. In order to be cycle breakers, we have to know that we need to change, commit to making the change, get the tools, and hang in there even when you mess up. And that's why these programs are so important for you and for me. So today we're talking about the element of being the best you can be, which is seeking wisdom. Breaking it all the way down to what it means is, look, get information, and not just any information. Get the best information that you can get before you act. Get the best information that you can get before you do, because you don't want to waste time, and you don't want to waste your life in a cycle over and over and over again of destructive thinking or destructive relationships or destructive behaviors, because it is going to slow you down. Maybe you'll end up in a courtroom like mine and you'll be sentenced to jail time. That will definitely slow you down. Maybe you will present yourself in certain ways in certain environments that you miss opportunities because somebody was walking past, they saw you wilding out, and all of a sudden now you don't get a job offer. Or maybe you didn't take the time to put on good clothes so that when you ran into President Biden and Kamala Harris, they didn't elevate you because you didn't look the part. I'm just keeping it real. Seek wisdom. Get some people on your team who can elevate your thinking and elevate your analysis of the decisions that you are going to make. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is my session for today. Again, I don't try to keep you long. I just want to give you information that you can use to live your best life. So until we meet again, because I am a yogi and a judge, today I'm going to say namaste.